guys, my name is Jess and welcome back to Planted Hippie. Welcome back to another video, guys. Today is going to be another monthly houseplant favorites for the month of July. I cannot believe how quickly the year is flying by. So if that does interest you, I please ask that you stick around, leave a like, maybe even a comment down below, or even subscribing so that you are notified every time I upload a new video and to help me keep on planting. Please also don't forget to follow me on Instagram at planted.hippie, where I post new plantee photos daily. So with that, let's go ahead and get into my monthly houseplant favorites. Alrighty, so for our first favorite for the day, it is a little bit less planty, if you want to call it that, but I did want to mention him because he is one of my little favorite guys in the house right now. I did mention that I was a Tika registered ragdoll cat breeder, and I did have a litter back in May. I actually had my very first litter where a mother actually had only one kitten. So we ended up giving him a pretty unique name, which was Uno, and Uno is now 9 weeks old. Here he is. Say hey, buddy. And if you wanted to know why ragdolls get their name, you can see here when they're picked up, they just go limp in ragdoll. So little Uno here was born back in May, so he's going to be 10 weeks old next week. And yeah, he is a blue lynx mitted ragdoll, and ragdolls come in all sorts of colors and patterns, but he is a blue lynx mitted, which means he has little mittens on his feet here, as well as a tabby like striping on his face, like a little Siberian tiger, I like to say. So he is a beautiful little guy. He is growing so quickly and thriving so well. He just went to the vet yesterday and got a great checkup and his second upper respiratory vaccine, and I'm always very thankful when my kittens are doing well and thriving just like my plants, so I wanted to give him a mention. If you are interested in following along with any kitten content, I'll leave my Dreamcatcher Ragdolls page down below where you can follow along and get to see more kitten content and stuff like that. And little Uno here will be going home at the end of August, so I did want to mention him in this video just in case there's not another opportunity to put him on camera. We love you, man. So yeah, this was my first favorite of the month, my little guy Uno. I did also want to just quickly mention him just in case you guys hear him playing in the background. He is quite the little playful man, so just in case you hear his little jingles or running into his little playpen, that's him. So little Uno is our very first favorite of our list. So my next favorite on my list is actually our first plant, and it's going to be my Philodendron gloriosum. And I know I mentioned her in a recent monthly favorites, maybe either last month or the month before, and I'm including her again because I know I said in prior videos that she was experiencing some bleaching issues and I moved her around my plant room to try and solve that issue. Well, I went ahead and actually moved her into Austin's grow tent, and she put out a beautiful new leaf, completely unbleached. As you can see, it is untouched. I think the extra added humidity in his grow tent really just ensured that this leaf unfurled beautifully. So with the new better signs of new growth on my gloriosum in the grow tent, I decided I wanted to start propagating her, and I took some shears and cut in between each node since I gave the plant a good tug beforehand and saw that it was already rooting as it was crawling. So it's basically like being air layered. So I gave it a really nice water the day before and then went ahead and gave it the cut. So as you can see, the growth points on the cuttings have already started to emerge, and I'm super excited to see how these propagations continue to develop. I will obviously keep you guys updated, and if you don't follow me on Instagram, I highly suggest you do because that's where I usually post some stories of videos and updates like that to let you guys know when I have new leaves and when propagations are changing and developing. So if that does interest you, I please ask that you also follow me on Instagram. And yeah, I really am enjoying how beautiful the leaves on this gloriosum are finally starting to look now that it is in the perfect spot, I think. It is just on the bottom rack of Austin's grow tent, and it is getting the most humidity, not a ton of light, and I think it really is enjoying it. I think it is more of a ground cover plant, obviously, and it is really starting to enjoy where it is, and it is finally giving me the beautiful, pillowy, untouched and unbleached leaves. So that is why I had to include it on today's favorites list and make sure you guys saw an update on its newest leaf and how beautiful it is now becoming. So yeah, that is our number 4 plant, the Philodendron gloriosum. Alrighty, so the next plant on my list is going to be an anthurium, and I think I've mentioned this plant as well recently, but I just can't help but gravitate towards this plant every day, so I have to give it a mention, and it is my Anthurium pallidiflorum. It was a wishlist plant for a very long time because of those very long, velvety, strappy, belt-like leaves, and I picked this plant up about 2 months ago at the open house in Apopka, Florida at Equigenera's USA location here in Florida. And yeah, I cannot say enough good things about their plants. I think they take really obviously great care of them, and I just picked the perfect little guy for me because he just did not skip a beat with acclimating to my space. She has given me 3 leaves since coming home with me, and it is actually working on one right now, the 3rd, and it's so cute and tiny, and it starts off so small and beautiful, and they just get so long and regal, and if you don't touch them and you just let them hang, they just become so beautifully perfect. And I think they're very, very hardy, considering all I've really done is give her a little bit of an up pot because she was kind of very root bound whenever I got her, so I went ahead and put her in a little bit of a bigger basket, and ever since then I can see her little green roots kind of jetting out of the soil, and she just seems to be really loving life. So because of her really just flawless kind of transition into my plant room and my life, I had to give this anthurium a mention, and that is why she is our number 3 plant, the Anthurium pallidiflorum. Alright, so the next plant on our list is another really fun plant that I got in an unboxing a little bit earlier this year, and that is my Philodendron tortum. I got it from Carnivoro, and it was a gift from my fiance Austin, and when I first got it, it really kicked butt and did not really seem to skip a beat either as far as acclimation goes. I put it directly into my little cabinet here behind me, and it did really well. I then tried to repot it, and then I think I may have stressed it out just a little bit too much by repotting it as well as moving it out of the cabinet and into my plant room. So I think just too many changes all at once kind of just shocked the plant, and I lost out on 2 of the newest leaves kind of just getting crinkly and not really unfurling correctly and sort of rotting away. So luckily it did not get all the way to the stem of the plant, and it sort of just kept pushing out leaves until now. It's been the 3rd leaf since that happened, and it is finally giving me a beautiful new tortum leaf. So I'm really, really happy to report that I think it is finally happy again, and that it was possibly just going through some stress, and that's why I kind of messed up and the leaves were not really coming out too great. So I'm very happy to finally report that the tortum is now doing much better. I hadn't mentioned it on my Instagram very much lately because the last nice leaf that came out was probably close to 2 months ago. So I'm really, really happy that this newest leaf looks to be very big, and I just love how they come out all finger-like and like little skeletons. They're so, so beautiful, and because of its amazing turnaround, I had to give it a mention on today's favorites list. So that was our number 2 plant, the Philodendron tortum. Alrighty, so we have reached the end of our list, and today's number one plant on my favorites list has to be my newest addition and my probably now favorite Hoya of all time, which is my Hoya Polynera. I think you can call it Variegata or Albo Marginata. I'm so pumped to show you guys this Hoya. It is absolutely beautiful. I'm going to include some amazing b-roll of just how beautiful these new leaves are coming out on this cutting. I got it from a planty friend on Instagram who was having a nice little plant purge, and I snagged it for a really great price. And for considering how much these plants go for, I am so grateful to Danny at Hell Yeah Hoyas, and I am just forever grateful that she decided to share her cuttings of this beautiful Polynera, and I am just forever in awe at how beautiful these little tiny variegated mermaid tail leaves come out. I am so excited to have this Hoya in my collection, and I will definitely be sharing it once I have it grown out myself into a much more mature plant where I can start taking cuttings myself and sharing. So I will definitely keep you guys updated on the growth of this beautiful Hoya. I had to give it a mention today because it is just absolutely taking up all of my attention and time. Every time I go to my cabinet here, that's where I'm keeping it. I just end up staring at it for so long. It just reminds me of a little mermaid, and I love her so much. And that is why I had to include her in today's video and definitely put her at number one on our list because she is just number one of all time right now because I just love her. So yeah, that is why I had to include that beautiful Hoya Polynera Variegata on our list today and definitely put it as number one because I am just totally obsessed with it. That does bring us to the end of our list, and let's go ahead and roll the outro. Alright, so that does bring us to the end of today's video. I so do hope you enjoyed getting to see my top 5 monthly plant favorites for the month of July. So if you did stick all the way to the end, I do appreciate you, and please ask that you leave a like, a comment down below, or even subscribing so that you are notified every time I upload a new video and to help me keep on planting. Please also don't forget to follow me on Instagram at planted.hippie, where I post new planty photos and reels now, I guess, daily. So with that, I will see you all in the next video. Bye guys!